Alrighty, guys, welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. This is another episode of True Crime in the Morning. For the first time, we will be diving into the missing person case of Aiden Clune. And I think I have a pretty good grasp of what happened. And we're going to go over those details today. And also, we have plans in the future to go out and help look for Aiden. There's been some pretty good pushes, some admirable efforts, and we would like to be part of that as well. Welcome in Hiawatha, Blind Squirrel, Jill Moser, Carrie, welcome. Okay, so here's Aiden Clune here. And we'll get going here in just a few minutes. Okay, Aiden went missing April 26th of 2022. He likes to dye his hair. Apparently, the day before he went missing, he bought some black hair dye. So he must have been blonde at the time. So he most likely looks like that now. Something I wanted to show you guys here. We'll be doing a live stream today at 6 on false sightings and false sightings of missing people. But one thing I've learned while considering these folks are not somewhere in the mountain, no longer alive, but they could be living, makes me think of the case of Troy Coleman. So just like Aiden, Troy Coleman went missing under strange circumstances, suffering from what appeared to be psychosis. An intense search for Troy was underway with no luck. 2 months later, during a live stream, his brother sees him live. I think this might have been on Twitch or something like that. But I just want you to notice when you're trying to keep your eyes open for these folks, look how different he looks. The muscle tone in his neck is gone. The muscle tone in his shoulders is gone, and he looks kind of sunken in. So when he went missing, he looked like this. But when he was spotted, and only his brother really, I mean, there's no way I could tell that that's the same person. Absolutely no way. So Aiden's mother believes that he made it out of those mountains. And one thing I've learned about these types of cases involving psychosis and things, mental health situations, these folks are highly motivated. For whatever reason, only they know what that motivation is. Audible voices, delusions, paranoia, but they are motivated. We're talking 10 miles like that. Are they going to be extremely exhausted? Yeah, but they're still motivated to travel these distances. There's something pushing them. So yeah, he could have made it through those mountains, out the back end, and into something like this, a situation just like this. The dude is wandering around all alone. And the more and more I listen to Aiden's story, the more it seems like he just couldn't cope, with what he was dealing with. He couldn't go and live a regular life. He couldn't be around his mother, who was always asking about a job. Are you going to go get a job? Are you going to do, what are your plans for the future? And that to me is just adding on more pressure to a lost person. They just don't want to deal with it. They tried. They tried to deal with it. They can't. Whatever is going on is just too invasive. It's like they slowly spiral out of control. We know that Aiden suffered from depression all the way from 8th grade. And I'm not sure how old Aiden was. I think he was 19. His date of birth, December 2nd, 2002. Some of his tattoos. This book was found at the scene of the crime, or the scene of it where they found his truck. It was almost as if he jumped out of his passenger side, pulled over to the side of the road, didn't get out on his side of the vehicle, jumped out through the passenger side, and anything that was on the seat or on his lap ended up on the ground. He didn't take anything with him. I think he may have taken his phone. Hiawatha says, I think at least some of these cases that are near I-40 may be intentional. The train runs along that highway all across the county. I thought of doing it myself 40 years ago. Yeah, this is a person who he tried to get a job. He lost his job and went and got another job. Reminds me a lot of the Daniel Robinson case, where he was invited in after making a delivery for one of his jobs. And a young lady was very nice to him, and he became obsessed with her. But not because that's who he was as a person. It was just part of what he was going through. Paranoia, delusions, audible voices, all the things that come with psychosis, which are an utter invasion of privacy. I mean, what's more private than your own thoughts? Imagine somebody in there digging around. So there's the book there. It's titled, took me a while to kind of figure it out. I'm sure I could have looked online to see that somebody else had identified it, but I wanted to do it for myself. It was titled The Mastery of Life, a Toltec Guide to Personal Freedom. Left his knife, his wallet, his laptop. Now, before he left, he packed a bag, a few articles of clothing, told his mom that he was going to go stay with his cousin, but he lied. He went and slept in his truck. Okay, now Aiden is originally from Sonoma, California, where he was living with his mother. Now he was really having a hard time adjusting to life in general. His family, his mother, and his friends were all starting to see this pattern that something was wrong. He was seeing a doctor. He knew something was wrong. They knew something was wrong. He was seeing a doctor. They were trying to get him to go to counseling. He would find work, and then there would be complaints at his job, complaints from him, and complaints about him. What's up, Cynthia Della Fuente? So at first he wanted to stay with his cousin, but really they found out he was living in his truck. And he told his mom, you know what? After all this stuff that had happened at his new job, He accused a woman of sexually harassing him, and he just couldn't do it. I just think he couldn't handle the pressure, of what he was dealing with. He just wanted the freedom. And while he was dealing with those things, his mom would tell him, look, you need to find ways to cope with this. One of her suggestions was, hey, go outside, get some fresh air, take off your shoes barefoot, and let your feet just touch the earth. And that's good. That's something you should do normally, regularly as a person. It's just good for you. It's very beneficial. One of the reasons I love to go camping, you know, get in touch with nature. But I feel like that could be something that he was trying to do just on a larger scale. They found him 10 they found his last footprints about 10 miles up the peak of a mountain in Nevada. And then it went from his shoes, and they eventually found his shoes, I believe, to bare feet. So he's trying to run away from himself. He's searching for comfort, um, zero stress. He just wants to be free. And I think that's how a lot of folks end up being homeless. They can't deal with being boxed in. Their goals and their plans seem to be constantly changing. For instance, he made a decision to leave, to go out on his own, and he wanted to go stay with his grandmother, Debbie, and her boyfriend, Mike. Now, they lived all the way over here in Salt Lake City. So that's what he was doing so far away from Sonoma. He was basically trying to get away, get a change of scenery. Something's got to give. Well, through his bank records, his mom had access because they would exchange. I think they had the same bank and it was somehow connected. So she had access to his purchases. He stayed at Reno, most likely on his way to Salt Lake City. And I'm not sure if he made it all the way here. I think it might have been one drive. And he asked his grandmother's boyfriend, he said, hey, I'm having issues with my phone. I can't access the GPS. But what I think happened was he turned off the GPS. I think he was just so paranoid he didn't want anybody tracking him. There were signs of paranoia, turning off the lights, hiding in his room. So on his way to Salt Lake City, he said, hey, I don't have any GPS. I need you guys to come meet me. And he asked him to meet him at some gas station, I think, just outside of town here. Well, when grandma's boyfriend, Mike, met with him, got in the vehicle, thought it was weird, but understood he was going through something. That's why he was coming to visit. Said, okay, I'll meet with you. And Aiden said, well, I need you to drive with me. So get out of your car, come with me, and we'll drive together. And then later on, you can come get your vehicle. He said, that's kind of weird, but I'll do it. You're going through it, so I'm going to help you out. Well, once Mike got in the car, Aiden said, well, we're not going to grandma's house anymore. We're going to Washington. Washington State, and you're coming with me. Tried to take Mike's phone and said, you don't have a choice. We're going to Washington. Basically attempted to kidnap Mike. Well, eventually he convinced Aiden to let him out of the vehicle. He pulled over on the side of the highway and kicked him out of the truck right there. So instead of going to Salt Lake City, I believe he backtracked. Now it appears that he's heading towards Washington. So he stayed in a small town called Wendover. And my timeline might be skewed a little bit. I did my best to get it all tracked. So he stayed in Wendover and then went and stayed at Wells. His last internet search was for spark plugs. So I don't know if he was having issues with his vehicle or what. So it looks like he was going to head to Washington possibly from this point. I'm not sure what the quickest route would be. So I'm not quite sure which direction he was going to go in. But it looks like he changed his mind. So he backtracked all the way to Wells, bought a hotel here, and I think he took out $200 in cash. Okay, so for whatever reason, after staying at Wells, he heads down 93. Now, I don't know where he was going. I have no clue where he was going. But for whatever reason, he starts heading south. I don't know if he said, "Hey, we're going to go to Vegas." Not quite sure. That's the exact direction it appears that it's pointing in. But for all we know, he was going anywhere. Could have been going to Arizona, Mexico. Whatever he was doing, he was probably going to change his mind very soon. It looks like he did right about here. So whatever he was dealing with, the paranoia, the delusions, it became overwhelming. I'm assuming right at this point. So somewhere in this area here, he gets out of his truck. I think I'm facing the wrong direction. Yeah, I think it's that way. So for whatever reason, he was just done. He was done with it all. I'm done with my truck. I'm done with this clothes. I'm done with this laptop. But for whatever reason, he took his phone. And I don't know if they tracked it or not. I'm sure there's some information out there. Look at that terrain there. Now you need four-wheel drive to get out here. So he gets out of his vehicle and just starts walking. Where is he going? I don't think it matters. I think he just wants his freedom. I don't want to be locked down. I'm suffering from something that I don't quite understand and I can't do regular stuff. Can't live a regular life. And I think that's why we have so many homeless people is they just want to be left alone. They don't know how to deal with it, and every time we try to help them, they feel like we're burdening them. This is how I understand it. You can be the most compassionate person and have the most understanding of the situation, and they still feel like they're a burden. They don't want to be a burden. They don't want to deal with anything. They just want to be left alone to deal with this situation. Good to see you, Cynthia and Sensei. What's up? Mustang, welcome in. Okay, so family, police, private investigators, dog handlers, Aiden's mother, and direct family. They found a lot of clues out here. They found tracks starting somewhere in this area here. They tracked him through this valley. And right here at this fork in the road, he could have gone straight through there. He took a left or go back. But for whatever reason, he just went straight up this hill, up this mountain, really. Now, he most likely did this to get a better view. We know Amanda Nenegar did the same thing. So one thing you can see is there's a Butte Valley Road here. So I don't know if he made it out of there or what. But just over the hill, there's a trail here. So I have a feeling he connected to this trail. And I think he probably ended up right here somewhere. There's a road. But this is the area that I would like to search. There's a lot of water back here. I would like to take the drone right over this. So check this bad boy out. This thing is legit. It's the DJI Air 3. Now this thing, we can keep it up in the air for about 40 minutes on each battery. We got 3. Excellent camera. And we can get up to 5 miles. So I want to spend 2 days out here on this side of the mountain. I think it's possible he just went right up and over and down into this area here. So we'll get out here as soon as we can. And we'll probably start a fundraiser for each one of these cases. That way, if you guys want to, you don't have to, but if you want to help with gas and just kind of be a part of it, um, it does help. And we can do things a lot sooner. Really, it's just all about the gas money, really, for us. It's hard right now for us to get up and go. We have to start putting money aside. And so if you want to help with that and be part of it, you can. We're going to do giveaways probably every month for those who have been donating to the Cash App. So we have another one planned in August. So anybody who does help out, we're going to make sure we're doing giveaways and acknowledging all of your support. Because right now I have the time. I have the time to get out here and do these things. It's just the funding that takes time to plan out and do those types of things. So if you want to be part of that and get your name on these missions and help out, that's the best way to do it. And really, anything does help. But I think this is our plan. He seems to be going in this direction. Not sure why, not sure if he even knows why. And it is possible that he just kind of stayed along the top of this ridge, path of least resistance, until he found a road. Seems to be one right here. Tough Spring. I don't know. What is that, like a natural spring right here? So yeah, this is the place that I want to go search. Probably set up somewhere down here near Butte Valley Road. Probably spend some time over here near this wetland. Do some low flying right here. A nice grid. Just to check it off the list and something for us to analyze. But mainly I want to do a whole grid of this entire area right here. With the assumption that he made it out of this mountain. Also these areas here. Whoops. So you guys aren't confused, I'll put north back up in this direction. So I don't know where he's going. I don't think he knew where he was going, and I'm sure he changed his mind multiple times. Sensei says, in my opinion, when this happens, people feel very unsafe, and so they are looking to find somewhere that they can feel safe. What's up, CJK? Welcome in.
So I'm not going to stop coming out here, even if I have to move here.
Families are pivotal. They really are, and they're not going to give up.
Tonight, families still looking for a loved one who has fallen off the radar. On 2 News at 6 o'clock, we told you about a family continuing to search for Aiden Clune in eastern Nevada after he was reported missing more than a year ago.
Brian Schnee joined the family as they spent an entire week.
Wait, hold on, guys. Looks like my audio is all messed up. Give me a second. Let me reset this here. Looks like there was like a delay or something. This happens from time. Alrighty. Let's try that again.
Coming out here, even if I have to move here.
Families are pivotal. They really are, and they're not going to give up.
Tonight, families still looking for a loved one who has fallen off the radar. On 2 News at 6 o'clock, we told you about a family continuing to search for Aiden Clune in eastern Nevada after he was reported missing more than a year ago.
Brian Schnee joined the family as they spent an entire week searching in mid-May. He shares the impacts these missing person cases have on the families themselves.
You just keep turning over every single stone with technology on foot, drones, dogs, everything. You know, you just use every resource that you can.
Amy Clune has been looking for her son Aiden. Since his footsteps and tracks in the Cherry
And I'm pretty sure Chris from the MOB crew is in this video. Pretty
Creek
sure I saw
Mountain
him.
Range were washed away by rain and snow in May of last year.
We have a good idea of where he last was, and even though we kind of know that it's still a vast area.
It's still unclear exactly why Aiden left his truck on the side of the road in late April 2022 and took off into the remote mountain range.
You know, he was suffering from a primary psychosis. He had had issues with depression. He had seen therapists, and then the pandemic happened, and that just made him spiral.
Search and rescue crews called off the search after scouring the area for weeks.
At what point did you realize this is going to be on you and your family to finish this search?
Well, not too shortly after Elko got done searching.
Amy isn't giving up hope.
We provided scent dogs and tracked a trail further past where the law enforcement had passed, and then we got snowed out, so we had to
Oh, that
quit.
sucks.
Bill Dosey and his company Find 911 out of Wyoming helps families to try and find loved ones. He does this with decades of law enforcement experience and helps families in need after going through a family tragedy of his own.
It's tough. It's tough to talk with them, talk them through it, and talk through scenarios. It's heartbreaking. My heart goes out to everybody that we go do a job for.
There's a dramatic physical and mental impact on families who continue to look for their loved ones after law enforcement calls off a search.
And I'll tell you, the families, they
Oh, right there. I think that's Chris. Does that look like Chris? I think that's him. From the MOB crew. Shout out to the MOB crew. They do some great coverage on this case. We definitely want to go get involved too.
don't, when something happens, they don't just wait for the police. They do what they can do, and they try to get things going.
Francine Bardol worked missing persons and cold cases for years. Families want answers, but Francine knows it's just not that easy.
They feel like they've been forgotten. They feel like nobody cares. And I really think that
Pretty sure it's
attention needs
Chris.
to be given to these families.
I think that
He's been out
we're
there
having a
multiple
mental health
times.
crisis in this nation, and people need to wake up to that.
However, Amy knows her son was going through challenges.
That we need a national coalition for missing persons. There needs to be some cohesion there so that we can collaborate and figure out how to find people faster. There's a lot of new technology.
While searching for Aiden, Amy has hope for other families coping with the same pain.
Just love your kids and pay attention to them, and do everything in your power to
Yeah,
get them help.
CJK, I agree.
So I'm not going to stop coming out here, even if I have.
I do agree with that. And that's what we plan to do, is step it up over here on the Sleuth Intuition channel quite a bit. First step was this bad boy right here. This is huge, guys. Huge. It's going to be a huge tool for us. And I can't find the dash cam. There's a dash cam video of his truck, but I don't know if anybody has it, if anybody's made the Freedom of Information request. So he got out and everything that was on his lap and in the seat just came falling out with no care in the world. I don't even need to close that door. Forget that truck. Starting a new life. It's as if he spent years trying to fight this, whatever he was dealing with, and then he just accepted it. Mustang, do you know how to fly a drone? Yeah, I do. It's not that hard. It's not that difficult. Plus, this drone has it has sensors all over it. It has impact avoidance. So even if you wanted to, you couldn't smash it into anything as long as you have that on. Hiawatha, today I'm going out to the Superstition Mountain, which is out in Apache Junction. I need to go visit my dad in Mesa. And I'm going to go spend some time flying the drone and getting some good footage of the Superstition Mountain. And then this weekend, we're going out looking for Daniel Robinson. We're going to spend an entire day out in 110-degree weather looking for Daniel. Then we're also going to go out and look for Chelsea Grimm and Aiden. And also there was a recent case. Let me pull that up here. Look at
as
this.
a typical day for the Gill family.
That day, he was just very happy, and he wanted he was just antsy.
So this is a local case that just happened, I think a couple weeks ago. His name was Stephen Gill. Went out for a bike ride. I believe he was suffering from some mental health stuff as well. He just never came back. So we're going to go out, and this is not far from Daniel. So we might tackle both of these in one day.
He wanted to go out for a ride.
Might do
Barb
this
and
first
Doug
here.
Gill's
Go
oldest
help
son,
find
Stephen, said he was
Stephen.
going to go for a mountain bike ride in the morning while his parents were gone.
When he was gone until 2:30, I'm like, no, this is something wrong. This is not right.
That's the last time Stephen has been seen. I spoke with his parents by phone, who are now 5 days into searching for their son, scouring the desert around Whitman, Wickenburg, and
Yeah, this isn't very far from where we're going to be. He pretty much went missing right where Daniel went missing. Very nearby.
surprise.
I've just felt in shock, especially in the evening times when there's nothing more I can do. That's when it really hits me.
Stephen stands a thin 6 feet tall with brown hair, blue eyes, and a little bit of facial hair, and was last seen on his black and red Mongoose mountain bike.
You never think
Vanished.
something like this will ever happen to a member of your own family.
The Gills say there was no indication Stephen would just run away. Barb and Doug say they're thankful for all the community members that have been helping search for Stephen, and for the deputies and detectives in the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office working the case. They do.
And we have a 4-wheel drive Jeep and a 4-wheel drive Chevy Silverado. So we can get out to these places. We just need a little bit of help from the crew.
Add, though, they feel like there has been a lot of red tape they're having to go through when all they want to do is bring their son home safe.
They don't push looking for somebody unless they have.
And see, we don't have any bureaucratic red tape. We don't have to deal with anybody. We go out there and we exercise our freedoms, and we choose to spend our time looking for the missing folks that aren't getting the help that they need. The one thing the government needs is one agency with multiple headquarters, right? Every major part of the United States where they can mobilize helicopters, drones, ATVs, and dozens of people at the drop of a dime. So let's say Mr. Gill here goes missing. Boom, they put out the alert and they mobilize. They don't just have law enforcement say, oh, well, we'll wait 72 hours. He'll probably return. If he doesn't come home by tomorrow, give us a call. It's like, no, you need to mobilize and get out there now. That's what our taxpayer dollars should be going to, not all this bullshit. We need a search army is what we need, and we need to be able to mobilize it.
Have something really wrong with them, but he's still
At the
a
drop of a
person.
dime.
We reached back out to the sheriff's office today. They say there have been no new updates in this case. Stephen was last seen
There you go, CJK, Missing Persons Bureau.
wearing a black shirt with light green patterns, shorts, and a tan hat. Anyone with information on where Stephen might be is asked to reach out to the Maricopa County Sheriff's.
So this weekend, we're going to go help search for Stephen and Daniel. So I don't know what you guys make of this book here, The Mastery of Life, a Toltec Guide to Personal Freedom. This is the book that was found near his vehicle. Personal freedom, is that what he went looking for? Exactly, CJK. I mean, if they can send billions of dollars to Ukraine, a country that's not even an ally of ours, not even part of NATO, you're telling me that they can't give a couple $1 million for something like this? It's bullshit, if you ask me. Utter bullshit. And they don't give a shit. It's up to us. You can't depend on any government or law enforcement, unfortunately, it's just the way it is. Let's go look at some of these quotes here that I pulled from that book. Maybe we'll learn something. Hiawatha says, I think he was trying to figure things out. Toltecs were also known for their following of the stars and planets and space brothers. Okay, here's some quotes from The Mastery of Self. By tying your self-love and self-acceptance to a goal, your happiness corresponds to its achievement. When you reach your goal, your self-esteem rises temporarily. When you don't, you think less of yourself. Perfection is something that is completely free of flaws. But the thing is, we define what a flaw is with our agreement. CJK says, exactly. We put too much money overseas to countries that send us their worst, etc. Discussion for channel. Yeah, discussion for channel 2. An important discussion. Taxpayers here in the United States have given up their power of voting, or it may have been taken away. I'm not sure. It may seem counterintuitive, but you choose to let go in order to be in control. Doing so is the mastery of self in action. I mean, doesn't that seem like what's happening with Aiden? It may seem counterintuitive, but you choose to let go in order to be in control. Doing so is the mastery of self in action. Is that what he's doing? Taking control? By letting go? In order to gain control, I need to let go. Pull over my truck, let it all go, and just get out of here. To me, that's what homelessness is. I'm giving up. I'm letting go. It's just easier this way. Nobody understands me. I'm having problems at work. I might be having mental health issues. I don't know how to, I don't know how to get diagnosed. And even if I did, how am I going to pay for it? Nobody cares about me. I've begun to self-medicate. Now I'm addicted to drugs, and I'm probably going to pass away at a young age without any understanding. Because nobody cares. Nobody cares about the root issues. Cause and effect. Let's see. Heart. When you live your life from a mindset of trust rather than a place of fear, the result is that you stop trying to force or control the people and situations that are happening around you. Forgiveness ritual on a sheet of paper. Make a list of everyone you feel has mistreated you in the past that you have not yet forgiven. This list could include members of your family, friends, coworkers, acquaintances, and beyond. Review the list of names and think briefly about the incidences involved. Next, read the following statement out loud. I am ready to forgive all those who inflicted pain and suffering on me in the past. I choose to forgive them so that their actions of the past can no longer affect my present. My wish is to see them through the eyes of unconditional love. I also forgive myself, which is extremely important, for anything and everything related to these events. I was doing my best at the time. I pray that these people and myself can experience only love and peace going forward. Just as you did in the preceding chapters, exercise what you forgave yourself. I want you to take the piece of paper, crumple it up, and throw it away. As you do so, visualize all the negative feelings that you have about these people and the events going in the trash as well. This simple ritual is the beginning of replacing resentment with unconditional love for those who have caused you suffering. That being said, when the pain inflicted by others is extreme, an act of forgiveness is rarely a one-time event. As a result, you will likely need to repeat the aforementioned statement every time the events of your past replay in your mind and you feel them again. As a parasite, it's attempting to lead you down the road of negativity and conditional love. There is someone on that list you are having special trouble forgiving. Say the prayer below every night before you go to bed, inserting the name of the person or persons you'd like to forgive. I pray that blank receives everything they want in life, including the experience of unconditional love, peace, and happiness. So, there are some quotes from The Mastery of Life, where letting go is how you gain control. Yeah, minimalism is a thing. It really is. And before I got married, I had plans of going out, buying some land, and just living off grid. Something that I wanted to do. And now it's something that me and my wife are planning to do in the near future. Ooh, having all kinds of issues here. Yep, that was in the book. Those were quotes directly from the book. Okay, and this is what he was wearing. Black North Face brand coat, jeans of an unknown color, black Nike brand high tops. I think those were recovered recently. Black Gucci brand belt. May have been wearing a small pink quartz heart necklace and may have been wearing a small earring. Medium length hair that is no longer in front and shorter in back. Hair may be dyed black. Remember, we talked about him buying some dye while he was out there on his road trip from a Walmart, and his mom was able to verify that. She got the transaction number, contacted Walmart, and verified everything that was purchased. Yeah, sorry to hear that, Hiawatha. Yep, personal responsibility. If you don't want there to be hurt in the world, don't provide any. That's it. If everybody took personal responsibility, we would live in this perfect place. A large tattoo of a smiley face with ants for eyes and centipede for a mouth. Pretty cool tattoo. Yellow and green Oakland A's logo. Tattoo on the ankle. Body hair on mid chest and calves. Sparse hair on the chin and upper lip, described as scraggly. I'm going to shut my camera off right now. It's acting weird. Yeah, Hiawatha, but this drone right here that we got really is top of the line in every way. In every way.
Across the country, men and women, young and old, from all different races and backgrounds. Every missing person matters, and each case deserves attention. It is important to us, and it is important to the friends and families of each of the missing people that we meet. This week's case is a focus on the disappearance of a young man from California. There is a blurry image out there, and it may be the only clue right now his family has to go on. His name is Aiden Clune. He's been missing now for a year and a half. He left his pickup truck on the side of a Nevada highway, and then he ran off into the wilderness. No one knows why he took off. His mom says he may have been having a mental crisis, but she has not given up hope that he made it out of those mountains alive and is somewhere out there. She is now asking anyone who recognizes the man in the blurry image you'll see in a moment to come forward and help their family. Aiden Clune was 19 when his truck was found abandoned by the side of a Nevada highway on April 27, 2022.
They said that the passenger side door was open and his wallet, his clothes and belongings His laptop were all sitting on the passenger seat.
It's like at one point he was driving. He's like, I just can't take it anymore. Pull over and I'm going. I've made the decision. Because he could have been struggling, maybe thinking about maybe hurting himself. It's like either I hurt myself or I free myself. I can only make two decisions, and I'm choosing right now to free myself by what I've learned in this book. I need to let go.
His mother frustrated because you can hear the highway patrol dispatcher say Aiden's name and that he's missing.
The same person under the age of 21.
But there's no immediate search.
All of the law enforcement that I talked to at that time, I told all of them he was having a mental breakdown. He was having some kind of primary psychosis. He, needed help.
The boy who once mugged for the camera and showed off his guitar talent on Instagram was now an adult, protected by.
Yeah, Aiden loved music. He loved mixing music. He loved recording, and he loved playing his guitar. And his mom said he was suffering from depression since 8th grade.
By privacy laws.
I was beside myself. I mean, I just feel like I'm hitting my head on a brick wall, screaming at them, help me, find my son, help my son.
Days later,
Oh, that makes sense, Sensei. It says, or he was having a panic attack and needed to get out of the truck at that moment. Yeah, I mean, that does make sense. His mom used to tell him, go out, get outside, take off your shoes, and get your feet into the soil, make that contact. And I highly recommend doing that. It's wonderful. It's highly therapeutic. And I'm sure it's something our ancestors used to do and knowledge that they had, something they did normally. But I think that explains why he was out there and why he eventually took off his shoes.
Sheriff taking her down the rutted 2-track road to see the vast search area. Aiden's distinctive sneaker prints tracked to a location 10 miles into the wilderness at the north end of Cherry Creek mountain range. But snow ended the search.
We're going to check this area for Aiden.
Amy Clune and her sister have made multiple trips from California, tracing Aiden's steps.
Came through here. Gotcha. Then he walked across.
His mom climbing to those last coordinates and finding a glimmer of hope.
When I turned around on the side of this mountain and looked around, what I saw was directly north was Highway 93. My theory at that point was he did not go southwest, he went northeast. He could see the road.
Another trip finding shoe prints to support their theory.
They're peanut shaped, which means they're tennis shoe. These footsteps were.
Okay, she said northeast. I think that's where we were talking about. Yeah, that's exactly where. See? So she believes northeast. So he was walking west, but she thinks he went northeast. Not quite sure why she believes that. Northeast would be back the way he came. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. I don't understand why he would crawl up this to the peak of this mountain just to walk back the way he came. One thing I've noticed in all these missing persons cases, they're running away. They don't ever go back towards the vehicle or back towards home. They just keep going farther and farther away. Whichever direction is away is the direction they seem to go in most cases. So I feel like away is more southwest. I think he went in this direction. So yeah, I think this is the place where we want to search here. All the way from this side of the mountain, all the way down to this water source over here. And down in this area here. Because if he's looking at a road, he's looking at this one, Butte Valley. He's not looking back. He doesn't want to go back. He's going away. Whatever's back there is what he let go. The truck, his family. And remember, he was blocking his mom and doing all kinds of weird stuff. And it sounds like he turned off his GPS. So he didn't want people tracking him. So if he's letting go, I think he's letting go in this direction. Right in here is where we definitely want to search. I think I found a street view right here too. Sometimes people will go out and take 3D images. Sometimes there's little spots where you can kind of see. Not seeing any of them out here though. The hell's that? Looks like ancient Indian burial ground or something. Maybe I can find it on Google Maps. Bear with me a moment, you guys. Okay, here we go. I know there's a street view somewhere down here. Oh, well. Can't spend the rest of the live stream trying to find it, but it's definitely down here somewhere. Oh, well. Maybe just wanted to go to the top of the mountain and it went sideways. I don't know. I don't know anybody who's going to get out of their vehicle and leave the door open. Leave their knife too. No, looks like he was letting go. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Let's spend another 5-10 minutes discussing the information we went over. We have this here. Let me see if I have more information. Here's the image. And we'll talk a little bit more about this tonight when we go into that live stream of sightings and false sightings. So They believe that this could be Aiden. His mom says it could match. Yeah, Hiawatha. We'll find out. And he could still be living. I mean, it is possible. He may have made the decision, hey, I'm just going to be a free person. I'm just going to walk around. I might be homeless. I think there's a good chance. He's young enough to make it out of that mountain. Mustang, no. I just got it yesterday, registered everything, and got it up and running today. And I let the batteries charge overnight. So after this live stream, I'll probably go head out. So maybe in like an hour or two, you might see me live streaming out of Apache Junction, Arizona, over there at the Superstition Mountain, which has been listed as on multiple sites as the most haunted place in the world. The whole Lost Dutchman's Mine and all that stuff. Yeah, you have to register all your information. Connect it with your phone and all that good stuff. So I was trying to figure out how to live stream through StreamYard, and I don't think I can. But I can do it directly to YouTube, so that's probably what we'll do later. But yeah, this will be part 1 of True Crime in the Morning, Aiden Clune. And the closer we get out to making it out to Nevada and helping with this search, the more we'll cover the case. This is more of our introduction, trying to grasp the facts and the overview of everything. But this was very interesting to me, the mastery of life and the information that was in there. You know, letting go is possibly how Aiden was gaining control. Just let go. I mean, he didn't even shut the door. And the only reason he probably took his phone because it was in his pocket. Otherwise, in most cases like this, where people are suffering from psychosis and go missing, they leave their phone too. So our prayers go out to Aiden's family for a successful conclusion to this case. And we plan to go out there and help. So if you guys want to donate to Aiden's cause here on Sleuth Intuition channel, if you donate to the Cash App, just put Aiden Clune or Daniel Robinson or whichever case you guys want to. We're also going to be working, going back out and looking for Chelsea Grimm. And that's why we knew we needed that drone. I took out a $150 drone out there. It was just so windy. The thing just took off There was just no way we were getting that up in the air in that high desert. But now we can, and we will. I don't know, Hiawatha. We might go down to the border too in about a month and get some footage over there for Channel 2, see what's really going on. But I think that's going to do it for today's live stream, guys. If you are part of the replay crew, make sure you guys leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you need to correct any of the information that we put out, please leave me a comment. We just want to make sure we have all the facts, everything straight. That way we can make an educated decision and come up with a good strategy here. All right, you guys be safe. I'll talk to you again real soon. And you might get a surprise live stream from me with the drone. So we're going to go test it out today. And this weekend, we're going to go out there, see what we can do to help with Daniel and Stephen Goal. All right, guys, you all take care. I'll see you again real soon.